Hi everyone, my name is Austin Zollner and I'll just talk through the exploration stage of the candidate information. So overall, I really was super hesitant to start a master's degree. I was fresh out of college. A lot of my coworkers were getting theirs late into their 30s, and here I am as like a 23-year-old looking at that. And it just didn't feel right. But as I looked at the list of courses for MIT, the MIT degree, I was very surprised to see like, oh, these are actually courses that they sound like I would actually use stuff from them in my classroom, as opposed to undergrad where that was certainly not the case. So I will just sort of touch on each of my prejudgments and beliefs prior to actually taking each of these courses and just sort of how I felt about each of them before actually working my way through them. So I'll go in order. The first one was AEP 800, Innovative Technology Integration, and I thought, oh, this is going to be all about cutting edge new technology that has never come out yet, and it's going to require this really high level knowledge of specific, specs on certain devices and things like that, and that was not the case. It was much more approachable. The next course was Educational Research, and here I thought, rightfully so, that would be learning about the process of creating a thesis on educational issues. The next one was Instructional Technology Theory and Practice, and I believed that it would be me learning how to teach using only digital methods. So only strictly, paperless, only using computers, and I thought it would be all about one-to-one device interactions. The next one was MIT 806, Developing Web-Based Instruction, and I thought that that would be all about creating a completely online course, and I was to some degree correct about that, and possibly using that as an alternative for students that couldn't remain in the traditional classroom. Following that, we have multimedia applications, and I simply thought it would be, weaving together a few apps and tools into creating some cool final products, which I was correct about that one. With hypermedia and hypertext applications, I didn't know what that was looking at the title. So prior to the course starting, I actually was Googling hypermedia and hypertext, and it was just this very vague sort of concept, and I was very frightened, probably the most for this course, because I thought it would be this super intense coding class, but really, it morphed into sort of thinking about hyperlinking and weaving applications together. Then we have school law, and I thought it was going to be this super dry course that just focused on these case studies that were all about breaking laws in schools. And to some degree, I was correct about the case studies part, but it was much more engaging than I initially anticipated. Then with education leadership, my prejudgments were that it would be about leadership skills, realistic scenarios, and a sort of what would you do case studies. And to some degree, that was correct. Then with design and assessment, I believed it was going to be about designing an online course kind of similar to MIT 806, and then also creating proper assessments that align with those goals. With cultural diversity, I thought it would just be generic cultural information about different cultures around the world and learning to accept differences in the classroom, as well as how to address inequities and create more equality and equity in school. With Google in Education, that is one of the courses I'm actually in right now, along with my MIT 885 practicum. And I believe right now it's just sort of learning about Google Suite and integrating Google into what we do. And then finally, with the instructional practicum, I believed at first that we would just be observing other teachers and then writing sort of a shorter version of a thesis on a given topic that we had chosen, and then just sort of dumping all of our work from the prior 11 classes into essentially a Dropbox and making a video about that. So I was clearly off about that one, but it is nice to see that all of these classes have sort of tied together in a very nice way. So again, my name is Austin Zollner, and this is my exploration stage of my candidate information. Thanks.